Okay, guys, and we're back with another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stunner podcast, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about Tevin Farmer making his return to boxing on the Jake Paul v Chavez Jr. undercard. Tevin Farmer will be fighting Floyd Schofield, who is an undefeated prospect in his own right. He's got a really impressive record, in my opinion. In fact, let's look into it because he's not that impressive of a record. He's unbeaten, of course, 18-0. 12 wins by knockout, that's a good rate at these sort of lower weight classes. That is a good rate, but he's not fought anyone amazing. You know, Tevin Farmer will be Floyd Schofield's biggest fight to date, biggest in terms of probably commercial appeal, but also biggest in terms of actual talent of boxer as well. I know you look at Tevin Farmer's record and see there's a lot of losses, and to be fair, there is, but Tevin Farmer's the type of boxer that I don't care who you are, on any given night, he will give you a run for your money. You know, he's a tricky, slick southpaw who's not got a tremendous amount of power. And at times that has hampered him in his career. Moments where he's had guys in good positions, but he doesn't have the power to stop guys. To be fair, if you know Tevin Farmer's life outside of the ring, you would know he got shot in his hands. So you're not going to have a ton of power in them if you've been exposed to that sort of trauma or whatever. But like I said, on any given night, a guy like Tevin Farmer can give anyone a run for their money. But looking at the way boxing is, looking at the sort of momentum of each guy, we've got Floyd Schofield, who's definitely on an upward trajectory, and then you've got Tevin Farmer, who even now definitely feels like his best days are behind him. Feels like he's definitely on the downward slope, and unfortunately, it feels like these are going to start being the type of fights that Tevin Farmer's going to be in now. Of course, he had two really good efforts against Zepeda, which were both world title fights, and no doubt he got paid quite handsomely for that. But he had two world title fights and lost both of them. You know, it's going to be a very long road back for Tevin Farmer if he is to sort of get to that sort of level again. And doing that at this sort of age, at these weight classes, doesn't tend to happen in boxing. If we're being honest, it doesn't tend to happen. And like I said, these fights against your Floyd Schofields of the world, these are going to be the start of these. These are going to be this type of fights that boxers like Tevin Farmer are going to be getting when you're at this stage of your career. So they're not going to be easy fights. They're going to be fights where the odds are going to be stacked against you. You're going to be against guys who are more aggressive, younger, got more to prove, more to fight for. I don't like Tevin Farmer's chances in this fight, but like I've said a million times before, and if you're a fan of this channel, you know how much I like Tevin Farmer as a boxer. He can give anyone trouble, but I don't fancy Tevin Farmer to win that fight. Floyd Schofield showed that he's got some stopping power. Like I said, 12 knockouts in 18 wins. He's clearly got some power there. He's not got pillow hands. But Tevin Farmer, even Tevin Farmer against Zepeda, Zepeda's a very big puncher for these sort of weight classes, and he couldn't stop Tevin Farmer. Right? He couldn't stop Tevin Farmer over 24 rounds. So I'm not sure if I even fancy Floyd Schofield to stop Tevin Farmer, but I do favour Floyd Schofield to beat Tevin Farmer. But I'll be curious to know what you guys think. This fight's not happening until June, where Jake Paul's fighting Chavez Jr., but it's an interesting fight in my opinion. I'm going to go with Floyd Schofield for this, but let's see, man. Let's see. Anything can happen. Strange things happen in boxing. But yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.